Might as well start early. Hi, guys. How's it going? All right, let's see. Hold on a second. Just do that. Perfect. BJ's still watching, but I'm on the shuttle. Yeah, that was unexpected. How is everybody? Wore my favorite vacation shirt. No, thank you. What the hell is this? No. Okay, and go up here. Be right with you guys. Hold on a second. Just getting my shit sorted out here. There we go. All right. Let's see what you guys are saying. Well, I should probably wait a minute or two, right? This was an interesting episode. I didn't see. Here's the thing. I don't like the movie The Hangover. It frustrates the fuck out of me. So, did I like this episode? Yeah, it was a nice change of pace from last week's. Definitely shifting gears as far as tone goes, but we'll get into it, I'm sure. I can't wait to hear what you guys think about it, because I just think it's the ultimate irony that this one aired when it did, when a vast majority of Trekkies are in Vegas for STLV, because this is The Hangover, which takes place in Vegas. So it's great for that. Anyway, let's see what you guys are saying and get into it here. I really enjoyed this one more than I thought I would. It was nice. It was a nice, lighthearted, fun episode after last week's. Yeah. I do have some issues, though, with, like, Kirk just happened to be there in full uniform at the same time. Yeah, the Kirk thing doesn't make sense, because when Spock goes to mind meld with the plant computer, Kirk didn't follow them down the hallway. They leave the room, and Kirk's just standing there. So was it a mix between real Kirk and hallucinogenic Kirk? Anyway, I don't know. How did Kirk get back to the ship? He wasn't on their shuttle. Did he have his own shuttle that he just decided to go up to the Enterprise with? Seems a little odd. Anyway. Joe Cool, great character development for Ortegas and Scotty. I definitely thought Ortegas was going to die. Take the bomb from Scotty and sacrifice herself. I did not think that at all. Not at all. Joe goes on to say, my line of the episode was, my mind to your leaves. That literally cracked me up with that one. Yeah, it solves a 60-year-old mystery, don't you know? Remember in the cage when Spock grabs the plant and smiles? The plant obviously told him a joke. He touched it. That's a joke. Joe Cool says, hey, at least it wasn't Ryza. 100% agree. Neil says, this was The Hangover in space, another low-quality effort from Putzman. Yeah. Yeah. BJ says, didn't do much for me either. Trek or not, didn't like this one personally. Was weird, messy writing, and rushed. Waste of an episode. Probably a filler. Why would you intentionally go to a planet that would do that to you? So risky. Yeah, it is risky, especially for Starfleet personnel. But yeah. BJ, I did chuckle once or twice, but overall, meh. Trek or not, Spock was the best aspect. Yeah. Joe Cool says, definitely a filler episode. Not a lot of CGI, I guess. I'm the odd one out that liked it. No, I think other people liked it as well. Trek or not, but it felt written by the same pothead, or by some pothead. Yeah, 100%. BJ says you are the odd one. Joe Cool says, it's okay. I'm used to it. Olivia Julius throws in $5. Thank you so much for the super chat, Olivia. That is amazing. And she says, everyone, welcome. As you wait for the cap to be found, we didn't lose him. We just misplaced him after he wandered away. Please make sure you hit like. Yes, hit like, everybody. We have 21 of you here and 10 likes. Hit the like button. Let's get those likes up to 20. Neil says, can you say, what the fuck did I watch last night? Yes. Olivia says, to be fair, I said that last week too. BJ says, still watching Bomb on Shuttle? Yes, yes, yes. That's the other thing. I thought this episode was over, and I looked at the time, and it was 15 minutes left. This episode was only 47 minutes long. It felt way longer than that, and there was still 15 minutes left with the whole bomb thing. Eric Martin says, Cap, 2 nights in a row? I know. How lucky are you? It's amazing. Good to see you, Eric. Neil says, this would have been a great episode for Pelia Ditz. Pelia would have been great in this episode. She would have handled the gas no problem, you know, because she lived through the 60s and LSD. So, yeah. Joe Cool says, Captain on the bridge, at ease. Jay Donaldson says, this episode of Strange New Worlds certainly was a good episode of the Orville. Yeah, actually, now that you said that, this is a perfect Orville episode, 100%. Olivia throws in $5. I'm quite affected by the air here. Do you see the pug too? What pug? Thank you for the other super chat, Olivia. That is amazing. Ozzy says, we've tribbles on the planet. Let Kirk slap you. Yeah, the tribbles were cool. See them moving around. That was kind of neat. The Gatu suit, obviously it's getting some mileage because they use that in Starfleet Academy. And I love the little, I don't know who was in that before me, but it stinks. I think that's funny because, yeah. The Megatu costume is a good thing. Also, little homage to TOS with Ortega's headband with the TOS styled Andorian antenna, and the one broke off, just like in the one episode where there's a fake Andorian who had a listening or the device in his antenna. So that's nice. BJ says, Scotty just lost his thumb. I know, my God, that was awful. Ugh, yeah. James Rose, one of the episodes we have gotten this season, I think it was one of the weakest of the season. It's only been 3, so yeah. Yeah, instead of the thumb, it would be funny if it was like this finger, because this is the finger that James Doohan had shot off in World War II. It would have been cool if that was the finger that was just as an homage. Didn't really think about that until now, but that would have been awesome too. There are a lot of fun little things in this episode, but a lot of the broad strokes kind of bother me. Speaking of bothering me, there's a book out of alignment up here. That's my fault from the other night. So there's a lot of fun things in this episode, a lot of little homages and nods here and there. But like I said, this kind of storytelling, I never watched The Hangover until literally like maybe a year ago. I decided to watch all of them one night. And I got super frustrated. Is it getting glitchy for you guys? I think I need to do something. Hold on a second. Hey guys, sorry I'm late. I was never actually here. Okay, so hi, I'm back. Sorry about that. Anyway, yeah, I'm back. Hold on a second. Just give me a second. I need to wait for this thing to reconnect. So, my bad. All right, let's see. Just wait for people to get back in. Sorry that happened. I'm back. Hopefully people come back to the live. It'll be better now, I promise. I gave the router a strict talking to. See, the problem is we have fiber now, which is awesome, but our router can't handle the input from the fiber, so it gets backed up, and it just doesn't. We need a new router, which we're going to be getting soon. So this won't happen again. I apologize. I apologize, guys. All right. Lepiridon says, my line of the episode was "Sorry for the Mess" by Spock. While his quarters were tidier than the normal hotel room is when you enter it the first time. Yeah, he even straightens out a pillow. Dave Foley's in this, which is awesome, from Kids in the Hall. Foley, you need a Foley in there. Dave Foley was great. BJ said, as a hotel worker, I love Mr. Spock. Yeah. James Rose, I don't think you should have filler episodes when you only have 10 episodes in a season. I totally agree with you. Absolutely 100%. Eric says, don't you mean LDS? No, I don't. But I know what you mean. Stars and Donna, 1687, member for 39 months at the rank of ensign. Oh my, I never thought that I'd reach almost 4 years. Wow. Good to see you. How's it going? BJ said, actually, I don't think that they have master alarms at the helm station is unusual. I think they may be standard. Yeah, well, you know. Why is there no one under the influence crew on the ship that can take over? Well, because Pike's the captain. He's the negotiator. That's why. Poor Scotty, says Ozzy. Yes, I agree. Olivia, so is tomorrow a high yards? Where he'll be getting high on the live? No. I might have a drink. I might have a beer or something during the live tomorrow, but that'll be about it. And by the way, on the 15th of August, the Saturday, we're doing a drunk yards to celebrate Sam's birthday, so be there for that. 19 of you here, 19 likes, awesome. If you haven't hit like yet, hit the like button. Let's get to 20. One more like. Joe Cole says, wasn't there some actual the animated series images in the brochure? Not really a brochure, like an ad, but yes, 100%. From the Endosian, the basically Lieutenant Eric's character, to just some of the faces were very homages to the animated series. So, yeah, 100%, and that's awesome. Jay Donaldson, the songs Uhura was set to sing, by the way, are Yellow Battlecruiser, Romulan Rhapsody, Let It Go, Honor or Cowardice, Smells Like Blood Wine, and Aim for the Second Heart. That's awesome. Yeah. And Una was singing Total Eclipse of the Heart by Bonnie Tyler in Klingon. But thank you for translating that, Jay Donaldson. Fleetpaw would love that if Fleetpaw ever showed up to any of these anymore. He's a big Klingon fan. Olivia, go give Fleetpaw hell. Lepiridon says, also, when Kirk did slap Spock to prove he's real, Spock should have said, a hallucination, cut my ears off last week. Not convinced. You know, that's hilarious. That would have been amazing, yes. I like that a lot. Ozzy says, now weave Klingon songs from the 80s. The Trek reviewer, I bet Kurtzman doesn't know or care that James Doohan was missing part of a finger. Yeah, exactly. But somebody had to on the writing staff or the production crew. Libby says, Puggy. Yes, Puggy. Joe said, I just had some glitching. BJ says, wow, you just vanished. Must be the atmosphere. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. I was here the entire time. You okay? Trekyard would also think a shuttle would have detached the plotty thing if a tricorder could scan it. Yeah, maybe. Olivia, Pike face tattoo. Now, Cap, it's your turn. Well, it's funny because in The Hangover, the guy that gets the face tattoo, his name is Stu. So, sure. No. Eric Martin says, some video glitches, it's just the Matrix, lol. Trekyard says, also, why design it to only activate when touched, lol, as it might not have been found in time. Good point, good point. Trekyard says, I'm fixing it now, sit tight. Okay. Ozzy says, yes, hear you, stars and donut. Yes, I can hear you just fine. And then Trekyard not completely gone. I can hear you, I just can't see you, it's buffering. Uh-oh, we lost Cap. No, I'm here, I promise. Solaris says, well, apparently they forgot about the story this episode. James says, I'm not seeing anything but the spinning wheel. Trekyard says, we're working fine until he fiddled with something. I didn't fiddle with anything, so don't blame me. Hey, we're back. I see you, says Olivia. I see video and have audio. Well, that's good. That's how these things work. But I didn't go anywhere. I didn't do anything. I don't know what your problem is. You guys are all hallucinating and high on something. Get an air filter or something. Stop breathing the air. The Trek reviewer said, Captain, if you had to rank these 4 Enterprise security officers by how well they did their job, what order would they be in? Worf, Yar, Non, and La'an. Probably Worf, La'an, Yar, and Non. Yum, yum. Trekyard says, audio sync issue. Really? BJ says, you're back in HD. Olivia says, I can see every hair on your chinny chin chin. Count them. Put in an estimate for how many hairs are in this. And the person closest without going over will get some kind of prize. Joe Cool says, I just switched to fiber too. Technical issues happen. Yes, thank you. Somebody that understands. The Pyridon, better look for an oversized firecracker in the router. Arthur McGuire says, bingo with Nurse Chapel was my favorite scene. Yeah. I love how she knew all about the effects of the gas. Now, was that because she's a nurse or because she's been to this planet? I assume it's because she's been to this planet, because Chapel comes across as a bit of a party animal to me. So, yeah, my hair is doing a thing, and I don't like it, and my God. Well, whatever, it's fine. Scotty will send you an alert if stream goes out. Stars and Donna says, I'm great, thank you. Good to hear. Thank you for joining us. Solaris says, I understand that everyone needs a vacation from time to time, but this, yes. My God, did I forget something downstairs? I'll be right back. Again, I'm sorry for leaving you. Just make sure things are good here. Hold down the fort. Count the dragon. Oh. The dragon. The dragon. Oh my God. Whew. Hi. All right. The Trek reviewer says, I'm surprised they did not have Una sing Faith of the Heart. LOL. Yeah, no kidding. I with Human Best Friend, I expected Doug to be here, Vulcan Doug. I think that would have been cool. My hair. Why? Do you guys notice my hair's off? My God. Oh, it looks like shit. Oh, it's fine. I totally forgot the finger. Yeah. A lot of people forget or didn't know. So. Sean O'Sullivan says, morning, Cap. 2 duds in a row after such a great start. Grr. Wow, you're salty. Ozzy, the real Scotty, lost his middle finger doing World War II on D-Day. He also medaled too. He also got shot by one of his own men. A guard that was a little bit trigger happy and nervous shot him when he was approaching a gate. So yeah, James Doohan went through some shit. Arthur McGuire, 3 episodes in and no Pike cooking. I love those cooking scenes. And the ironic thing is Ensign Mount doesn't cook. Usually they try to incorporate something that the captain likes or that the actor does well into the captain's, repertoire. So everybody was asking Ensign Mount, do you like to cook? He's like, no, absolutely not. I can't cook. So it's kind of funny that they gave him that little quirk, but Olivia Julius, Fleetpaw won't come on. He says he is still at work. What a weirdo. Oh, well, that's a shame. BJ said, would have been funny if they had cans of standard air to make themselves sober for brief moments. That would have been kind of cool, actually. Yeah, like a little hit of adrenaline or like whatever. My fucking hair, my God. Solaris says, when Murphy's Law happens. Olivia says, at least they didn't mention Riza, whatever the spelling is. Riza is the second one, R-I-S-A. Foley hair is like Pike hair, says Ozzy. Yeah, I'm getting to the point where I need a haircut, actually. But, Libby said, you heard him. I'm in charge. Oh, when I left? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're the you're the only moderator here. So, Solaris said, Picard had better vacations than this. Sean O'Sullivan said, Fleetpaw not here makes me anxious. I know. Fleetpaw has been lax in his duties as of late, and we might have to have him face the wall. Joe Cool says, Perry air like in Spaceball. Yes. Olivia Julie says, so did Ortega's fly the shuttle under the influence? Yeah, I guess so. I just said, where's Donnie? Don't know where Donnie is, my friend. But yeah, I mean, like I said, there's some nods. Like the tribbles were great. The broken antenna on her headband was fantastic. Seeing the Mugatu costume again was good because that's a good costume. I'm glad they reused it for Strange New Worlds. It's obviously the one that Caleb was wearing in Starfleet Academy. The thing that really pissed me off and annoyed the shit out of me was Scotty throwing the tricorder and then it busting into like a million pieces. And I understand you need the story to happen, but that was just stupid. And that's what I mean. When I started this out, I said, I don't like the movie The Hangover. it frustrates the fuck out of me because they need to find one thing and then they need to find another thing and and it's just I get it. That's the story progression of these kind of stories, but it annoys the hell out of me. Anyway, so I was frustrated a lot in this episode because of that. Although Pike under the influence was awesome. Uhura was yeah trippy a little bit. Pelia would have been great in this episode. Let's be honest. Spock was kind of funny as well. Yeah. Also the shuttle. It's a big fucking shuttle. And those chairs in the center, they felt like just chairs from a conference table that they pulled in and set down. They didn't feel like shuttle chairs at all. So that's a thing that's happened. Yep. Another favorite part of mine was where Pike had all the words tattooed on his fingers for his like speech. That's kind of funny. So yeah, there's a lot I like about this episode, but a lot that annoyed me. So it's kind of it equals each other out a little bit. I like that it's a nice breath of fresh air after last week's. And Star Trek tends to do that, even in TNG and Voyager and Deep Space Nine. They have a very super serious episode followed by a fun episode. So I'm glad they're maintaining that tradition. 38 people here, 26 likes. Hit that like button, guys. Let's get those likes up to 35. We can do it. Hit the like button. And make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And join us tomorrow for our full review and breakdown of this episode at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come and join us. Be part of the conversation. Right now it's just a general hangout, talking with you guys, so. Solaris says, y'all know they're making a Spaceballs too. 100% yes. Devo77X, this reminded me of a Filk song called Band from Argo. It's supposed to be a folk song. I don't know how to say your name. It's not Jamie. Jane? I was thinking the same thing. I googled the name. Ozzy said, how come shuttles never picked the bomb? How come shuttle never picked the bomb? I don't know what you mean. Olivia Julia says, so, the guy gave the note to Ortegas to give to the captain so she wouldn't go to the shuttle. Huh? Yeah, it's kind of a convoluted plot. Joe Cool, tricorders must not be made out of sturdy stuff. I know, right? Like, I could probably drop my wand company tricorder 2 stories like that, and it would not break into that many pieces. I guarantee it'd be 3 pieces. Maybe 4, but not a bazillion. Jamie? I'm going to call you Jamie. It's Jayami. Maybe that's it. Pelia would have been normal. The LSD had no impact on. Oh, that's right. She would have been a reliable one that you could trust. So yeah, you can't have that in this story. So yeah, you're right. Evo said Pelia would have been walking around upset that the air wasn't affecting her. The Trek reviewer said, I think because of Non's hand-to-hand fight with Ariam that she lost only because Ariam broke her breather. She would be the best security team leader. La'an seemed to be the best tactical. Well, there you go. The Trek reviewer, Officer Yar, seems to have good knowledge of small arms, so that would make her a good army person. Worf would be the best commander of the bunch. Well, there you go. Sean O'Sullivan says, it's fun to have the regulars play different characters, like our man Bashir or Far Beyond, but 2 weeks in a row, not a fan. Yeah, I get it. Robert Buckley, I'm late. I can't be here long. Good to see you, Robert. Glad you're here. Robert Buckley throws in $5. Much appreciated, sir. Thank you so much. Happy little extra money. Awesome. It's Jamie. All good. All right, I'll call you Jamie. Jay Moore says, I like how it reminded me of The Hangover, how they woke up with the weird injuries and mysteries that they had to solve from the night before that they didn't remember. I hated that. I hated that. I hated that this was the Hangover. I'm not a fan of the Hangover. It's irritating and frustrating, and it just fucks with my OCD. And if that was in that situation, I would give up, because, yeah. No one's commented on my shirt. I got my favorite shirt on. Nobody said anything. I'm so disappointed. Anyway, Ozzy said, how come bomb never went off in the shuttle scanning? Well, it's supposed to be touched to be activated, I think. And why didn't the shuttle scan it? I don't know. That's a very good question. Olivia Julius, tomorrow on the live, Cap throws his tricorder out the window onto the sidewalk to prove a point. Stay tuned. I just might do that. Maybe we'll save that for the Drunkyards on the 15th. Joe Cool says, wait, isn't Pelia and Una the same species? Wouldn't it impact them both? No, Pelia is a lanthanite, and Una is she's not a lanthanite. She's a fuck. I can't remember. Hold on. No, they're not the same species at all. Not even close. She is the an Illyrian. So Pelia is a lanthanite. Una is an Illyrian. That's right. Ozzy, will Tukov find something in Spaceballs too? Okay, well, he still ain't gonna find shit. Jay Moore says, I like your shirt better than Scotty's favorite shirt. That being said, I want to get Scotty's favorite shirt because that's cool. It had a little Bagatu on it and the planet. I like that. It's a cool shirt. Jamie says, why are not... They are not the same species, but I do not think it should have impacted Una that much. But it's in a hallucinogen. Just because she's got, like, kind of augmented strength and stuff doesn't mean that she's... You know, and the only reason it wouldn't affect Pelia is not because she's a lanthanite. It's because she's just used a lot of drugs in her 5,000 years. She's 5,000 years old, so. Tuvok finds something space. No, he ain't found shit. Still ain't found shit. John O'Sullivan, episode should have been called Scotty Doesn't Know. It's right there. I liked Mbanga being like the bartender, like Tom Cruise in Cocktail. That was great. But yeah. Also, and I don't mean to be nitpicky, but Ortegas would know she didn't have a broken arm because it wouldn't hurt at all. So, small thing, but. Devo77X, Pike's tattoo is similar to the black scar on Pike's face. Pike tattoo is similar to the black scar on Chair Pike face. What? Sean O'Sullivan says episode should have been called Scotty Doesn't Know. It's right there. The Trek reviewer, I wonder if Pelia did LSD in the 70s when she was married to Latka. She did do LSD in the 60s, and it didn't really affect her. She's already said that. She said that in season 2. She was disappointed. Jay Moore says, how I get Ozzy's joke because he was combining the desert and Spaceballs. Yes. Olivia Julius throws in $5. Thank you so much, Olivia. I see your shirt. I shall give it as payment. I give you the information you seek. Now hand it over. I'll tell them it's an Earth relic. Yes, it is an important Earth relic. It's my favorite shirt. Arthur McGuire says, Captain Foley, do you like to cook? Just wondering. I love to. I do. Me and Sylvia cook about 4 times a week. We have a thing it's like HelloFresh, but it's called Chef's Plate. So we get 4 meals a week, and then the other couple of nights we either make something simple or we just order in or go out. So, but yes, I do enjoy cooking, and we always cook together, her and I. So that's more time with us together. Speaking of, this Saturday is our 13-year wedding anniversary, August 8th. So if you want to wish me a happy anniversary with a super chat, I wouldn't complain. Anyway, no, I do enjoy cooking quite a bit. I usually do the chopping and the frying up of meat in the pan and stuff, the pan stuff. She makes the sauces. She makes the meatballs and touches the raw meat. I hate touching raw meat. Ugh. Well, she does all that. And yeah, I enjoy cooking. Wouldn't say I'm very good at it without instructions, but you know. Joe Cool and Bunga, it's green. Yeah, I thought that was great. And saying it and giving it to Scotty. So Scotty passes that on, and then it's great. Jay Moore says, sorry, Ozzy, it took me a minute to get the joke. Jay says, they kind of replayed their characters from the holodeck episode, if anybody remembers that one. Yeah. Sean says, a little too much LDS. Yes. A little too much Latter-day Saints. Olivia says, long time, no fleet paw. Do you fear? I do fear. Thribs says, hi, Mr. Foley. Bit of a silly episode, but it was enjoyable. My only gripe was Kirk being in uniform on planet. Yeah, and it doesn't make sense because when they were in the office, Scotty and Uhura left, or Scotty and Ortigas left, and Kirk was just standing there. You know? So he didn't follow him in the hallway. So how'd he get there? How'd he get back to the Enterprise? Did he get on a shuttle? Did he have his own shuttle? He wasn't on their shuttle. There's a few things about the Kirk thing that don't make any goddamn sense, so. Olivia Julius throws in $5. Happy anniversary of you flying in a helicopter in a romantic flyover in Vegas as you got married. Yes. I'll retell the story. So we got married in a helicopter above the Vegas Strip at night, which is awesome. Same weekend as the Star Trek convention in 2013. So we left McCarran Airport, flew down the length of the Strip to the Stratosphere, and just as we were going around the Stratosphere is when we got married. So we weren't married going down, but we were married coming back. And the Strip at night in Vegas from the air is beautiful. I got so many great pictures. It was fantastic. So there you go. There's the story. Jamie says, with $2, says happy anniversary. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Lapuridon, good thing Mbanga didn't hand out a blue drink. His reputation may not have handled dealing Romulan ale. True. Fleet Paw Swiftback, what the fuck? I have no fear. My fear is gone. Instantly. Oh my God. Fleet Paw throws in $20. Thank you, sir. Ooh, hi there, Scotty. I thought we left you in engineering. Love the shirt. Happy anniversary. Fear is begone. Fleet Paw is along. It's green. I must figure out if Total Eclipse of the Heart was translated properly. Yes, and all the other songs. I gotta go back up to that. I didn't think you'd be here. Jay Donaldson translated all the songs for us that were on the board that were coming up to be sung. There it is. The songs Una was set to sing, by the way, are Yellow Battlecruiser, Romulan Rhapsody, Let It Go, Honor or Cowardice, Smells Like Blood Wine, and Aim for the Second Heart. I figured Fleet Paw would appreciate those titles, so there you go, Fleet Paw. Sussy Guru 2000 throws in €5. Some funny gags here and there, but overall I found this episode really grating. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I wouldn't say grating, it's just the whole premise of this kind of storytelling frustrates the fuck out of me. Like, it just irritates my OCD and my tendencies, like to be organized and know what's going on, and just to have such chaos, I wouldn't be able to handle it. So watching things like this frustrate me because there's always a simpler answer than what they're doing, and it's anyway. So I hear you on that, but the good little homages and little things that they did equaled out some of the bad for me. So Fleetpaw, have no fear, Fleetpaw's here. Where you been? You haven't been to a lot of lives lately. Did a live last night on my personal channel. There's no Fleetpaw. What's up? What's up? Motherfucker. Libby says maybe Kirk was really not there, but Atikas decided to be nice and play with his illusion. Possibly. I have a feeling that maybe Kirk wasn't there the entire time, like in the office. That was actually an illusion that Spock was seeing, or a hallucination. But he was on the Enterprise, and he was in the. That's fine. Thrib says, really thought it would end with Ortegas and Scotty doing the nasty. She's the only one who hasn't had any action yet. He does. I've seen them. What? Fleetpaw. Who does what? You've seen what? The Trek reviewer says, I figured it out. Kirk is a QW in this episode. Quarterly weakling? What does QW mean? Devo 77X. One of two things was happening between Kirk and Spock. Either Kirk was messing with Spock, oh, I'm just in your imagination, or Kirk just kept leaving Spock at the right time. Possibly. Now the thing is too, I feel that if it was Kirk, if he was really there, he was taking advantage of Spock in an altered state, and he learned all these secrets about Spock. Spock wanted to talk about his hopes and dreams and fears, and that's taking advantage of somebody because they're in an altered state, right? So I think Kirk's kind of an asshole for doing that, but it's fine. Joe Cool says, right, why was Kirk randomly chilling on this planet and not with Carol and David, where he was supposed to be at the end of the last episode, unless he knew she was pissed at him still? Well, that's the thing. He called her at the end of that episode, and there was no answer. He was supposed to be to see them 3 days ago. They left to go to the other colony because he didn't show up. So she didn't answer the call, which means she probably doesn't want to see him, which leads into Star Trek 2, where she basically probably told him, get fucked. And Kirk's like, yeah, I did what you wanted. I stayed away. So, I think that's fine. Joe Cool, Kirk was just like, F it. Trek reviewer said I meant Q. Figured it out. Kirk is a Q in this. Okay, gotcha. Devo77X. I realized after the Griffin incident, Kirk probably needed some time off too. Yeah, he got stabbed. The Trek reviewer. I think Una should have sung Faith of the Heart. Sure. I think Total Eclipse of the Heart was great. Total Eclipse of the Heart in Klingon by Bonnie Tyler, who passed away not that long ago, actually. 3 or 4 months ago. Olivia Jules shows in $10. My God, thank you. Also, let's get this straight. After being on a ship that gave the crew delusions, you think going on a planet that gives you delusions was a good idea? Give poor Spock a break. You know what? That's absolutely a valid point, Olivia. Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to be doing anything mind-altering after that. So, yeah, that's a good point. Joe Cool, Fleetpaw was in danger of losing his wrench. His appearance saved him. Yeah, but we didn't tell him that. So how did he know that? Fleetpaw throws in $10. Thank you so much, Fleetpaw. Those are good titles. I have a feeling I know who translated Total Eclipse, and I definitely know who did Let It Go. This has Lipscomb and Klingon Pop Warriors handiwork all over it. Okay, cool. Jay Moore says, it's a little frustrating when we know there's so few episodes in the seasons. Yeah, I know. I feel your pain. BJ, was Kirk affected by the atmosphere? Didn't seem so. Yeah, he seemed perfectly fine and chill, which makes you wonder if he was an actual hallucination or not. Sussy Guru 2000 throws in €5. Thank you so much. And you're telling me if Kirk was real, he wasn't at all affected by the drug atmosphere? It's Kirk, man. Kirk's cool. Maybe he's been to this planet so often that it just doesn't affect him anymore. Fleet Puss said your wedding pictures. What about them? You want to see them? I think I have a folder or a gallery on my Facebook of our wedding. Anyway, hooray for socks! Really, I prefer bare feet, but hooray for socks is here. Loving they've gotten back to the standalone episodes for this season. Yeah, I mean, Stranger Worlds has always been doing episodic episodes, so they haven't really stepped away from that. Arthur McGuire, that girl that flies the ship gets some every time she throttles up that 1701. Fleet Paw says, we all know that Kirk and Spock were doing the horizontal mambo. The writers gave the Kirk-Spock shippers lots of ammunition here. Oh, I never thought about that, but you're right. It's gross, but you're right. Let's see. Jay Moore, when Kirk slapped Spock, shouldn't we have had a green slap mark instead of a red one? I thought the exact same thing. Yes, his cheek got flushed, but it should have been green. I totally thought the same thing, so thank you for mentioning that. I'm not crazy. Sean O'Sullivan says, why is Kirk on 2 episodes on the trot? The more they use him, the more it annoys me. I don't know. Fleet Paw, I saw that too, Jay. I was unimpressed with that. Thrib says, best joke was Spock's excuse the mess line into an immaculate room. Thrib says, was Scotty's finger accident at the end a reference to Doohan's actual missing finger? Probably, but they should have actually had that finger off instead of the thumb. Don't know. Olivia says, Cat, Fleet Paw is here and I'm going to bed. Good night, sleep tight, don't let the tribbles bite. All right, see you later, Olivia. Classic for real throws in $2, coming in late, but here. Good to see you, Classic. By the way, 39 of you here, 37 likes. Let's get those likes up to 40. That's 3 more likes. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Maybe we can get to 45. I don't know. We'll see. Olivia throws in $2 just to be number 1. Oh, in the top ranking. Jamie, they really tried to work in Kirk-Spock bonding. Kirk didn't say a word. Kirk did say it would stay secret. Yes. Fleet Paw says, I'm going to send you 6 tribbles, Olivia. That way you wake up to 1 million in your truck. It's okay, Olivia. I have a glommer. We're fine. Devo77X, you have never heard of Total Eclipse of the Heart. You've never heard Total Eclipse of the Heart until you've heard it in the traditional Klingon. Yes. Fleet Paw throws in $2. She wishes she was number 1. I will always be number 1. Yeah, when you're here. It's busting your butt. Olivia, $2. Fleet Paw is a big meanie. I mean, yeah, but that's why we love him. Fleet Paw, what I was saying, oh great Captain Foley, is that I have seen your wedding pictures. They're awesome. Oh, thank you. Yes. Sean O'Sullivan says, call meanie on regular, what? On regular meanie? Call meanie or regular meanie? What? Classic for real. Sorry for missing last week, but is next season going to have them blow up a giant space monster ship with a tragic backstory too? That's 2 or 3 seasons in a row, enough to qualify as a writing fetish. I don't know. That's a good question. Classic for real sent stars for 2 jewels. Thank you so much. Don't know what that means, but thank you. Fleet Paw throws in $5. Wow, you guys are awesome. Nice try, Olivia. I still win by default. Mod fights give Foley monies and therefore Puggy treats. Yeah, the Puggies get lots of treats because of your super chats. Olivia throws in $10. Fleet Paw, that's adorable. Sussy Guru 2000 throws in €10. Damn. It's nonsensical to me that Scotty installs pop-up warnings on the console without official authorization, and if Ortega's flying overloads systems in engineering, he should have brought it to Pike. I'm sure he did. It is kind of silly, but it's kind of fun at the same time. So, Sean O'Sullivan says Olivia called Fleetpaw a meanie. Oh, and that's why. Okay, gotcha. I feel you. I feel you, playa. Yeah. So I don't know how I feel about this episode. It was fun. It was a nice change of pace, like I said, from last week. A little lighthearted and funny, but also for me super frustrating. But I love seeing people like Pike play against type. That's really cool. I think the wrap up with the Delosians, can't remember exactly what they're called. Delosian militants that tried to blow up the ship and the delegates, I think was a bit of a stretch. Sorry, I got a real itch. It was a real stretch, and it wasn't really foreshadowed at all. I agree with Sam, and maybe there was, but if we would have seen one of their species in the bar or something, but we didn't know what they looked like at that point. So if you go back and watch it on a rewatch, if there's one in the background or something, that'd be interesting. But you know, it's a little bit of a quick wrap up, and I don't know how I feel about that. Sean O'Sullivan says Olivia called Fleet. Foley. You already said that. Classic for real. P.S. Sorry for bringing up last week's episode again, but Griffin is a dumb name for a Connie. Yes, because there is no Griffin. There's only 12 Connies, of which the Farragut is one. But in Strange New Worlds, the Farragut is Kirk's ship, and it's not a Connie. So it just proves time and time again that this is not Prime Timeline, and that's fine. Joe Cool says I give it a 6.5. Ooh. Arthur McGuire says better than the musical episode. I disagree. Fleetpaw throws in $20, so thank you so much, Fleetpaw. That is amazing. You guys are all amazing. Aw, I still win. Go to bed, Olivia. You can't, Olivia. I don't know what that means. Wonder where Pelia was this episode. I think she'd have had a blast on the Drunk World, and it would have been a hoot. Pike's face and finger tattoos, though. Sean Sullivan says they really like to screw up canon any way they can, not even by accident. To be fair, they messed up with the Galaxy Class 2, supposed to be 12. They show a lot more than that in the Dominion War. Well, okay. It's like the Connies in TOS. There's 12, right? They send them out, do missions, whatever. They build more. Like, by the end of the 5-year mission, there's a lot more Connies flying around, like new ones, but there's the original 12. The Galaxy class would have been the same thing. They would have built more, and, you know, especially when you're at war, finish up some, because they had parts for Galaxy classes. If you go back and watch our 3-part Trekyards on the Galaxy class, there's saucer sections on Utopia Planitia on Mars, ready to go for other builds. So anyway, yeah, they build more, and that's fine. It's fine. Thribs says Pike should have kept the tattoos. No. What? Fleetpaw, the musical episode was great. Even the Klingon boy band part, it was well done. Fleetpaw has spoken. Joe Cool, what's your first reaction score, Cap? First reaction score. 7.3. Let me go with the 7.3. Olivia says, it's all fun and games until I give $100. Whoever PayPal's me, the biggest amount will win. It's that simple. Classic for real. How can you say this is better than the musical episode? Did we not say you haven't heard Madonna or Cyndi Lauper or whatever already? Forgot an original Klingon? I didn't say this was better than the musical episode. I prefer the musical episode. I don't know if you're talking to somebody else, but Sean O'Sullivan, I wonder how many Defiants they built. I bet near 1,000. Smaller, easier to build maybe, but heavy power outage and weapons. I don't know. That's a very good question. And yeah, I don't know. Classic for real. Post original Connies equal Dominion War time galaxies with the war against Tekumbra and all. Words were said. Sean O'Sullivan, also wonder why we never saw Galaxy star drives in battle. The saucer doesn't add anything to the warship. Yeah, I agree. It would have been cool to see some Cobra heads flying around. It would have made a lot more sense, but Thribs, seems unlikely that the captain and XO would go on vacation at the same time. Yeah, who is in charge of the shift? I mean, they in charge of the ship. They did say that Alpha Shift hadn't had a vacation. So there's Beta and, as we know, with Lower Decks, right down to Delta Shift, right? So, but yeah, who's in charge of the ship? What's going on? Sean says, could you give a Galaxy a second warp core in the saucer so it can have better shields and phasers? Probably not room for it in the saucer. Where does this say that? I don't know. It does have a warp sustainer, so as long as it separates that warp, it can slowly coast out of warp. But hey, stop licking. I know that's what you're not what you're saying, like, but anyway. Classic for real, Stuart. That musical comment was directed at the person who said this was better than the musical one. I also forgot who. Dun dun dun. Fleetpaw, was that really 10 and 11 fucking years ago? Wow. Was what 10 and 11 years ago? Joe Cool says, I mean, in universe, we only know about 3 Defiant class ships from DS9, TNG and DS9, the Defiant, the Valiant, and the Sao Paulo. Joe Cool says, then we had another one in Lower Decks. Yes, we did. Classic Real says, Galaxy still has phaser strips in the saucer. Yeah, big ones too. So it does add something a little bit to the battleness of it. Logical 1701 says, I mean, Galaxy had tons of extra space, even with the classrooms and civilians. Rip all that out, fill the saucer with phaser banks, and suddenly the Galaxy saucer has some crazy firepower. You're right, it did have a lot of open room. It only had 1,000 crew. And as we talk about in our Galaxy class episodes, a lot of those decks were just not in use unless they were doing colony, moving a colony, doing an emergency evacuation, doing a specific scientific expedition where the scientists took over the labs and stuff. A lot of the Galaxy class saucer is basically just there's nobody there. It's the power down because they don't need it. So yeah. Sean O'Sullivan, of the Defiant and the shuttle, if the Defiant and the shuttle can have warp cores, so can a saucer. There's heaps of space. True. Fleetpaw says the saucer maintains the 2 massive phaser arrays and has impulse engines for added maneuverability, so I'd argue the Galaxy saucer is just fine. Sean says, that's what I'm saying. No main bridge, no science labs, no school, no 10 forward, just rip it all out. Rip it all out. Could make it like a Battlestar with landing and taking off facility. No, fuck no. What started this conversation? Classic for real started this conversation by saying the Griffin is a stupid name for a Connie, I think. We're talking about this episode. Human best friend. Remember? Season 4, episode 3? Why are we talking about galaxy classes and Connies for some fucking reason? I mean, it's typical for these lives. We're at the hour mark. We should be talking about food. Like the hamburger saucer or something. Because, you know, it's the hour mark. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. FleetPod says, make sure you're on all comments, Foley. You'll see that I posted the 3 Galaxy class videos. Those were done 10 years ago and 11 years ago for Prober Special. Yeah, I did see those, and I'm on all comments. I did see the links. I just didn't acknowledge them. Darren is a nerd, says, hi, Captain Foley. Hello, Darren. Good to see you again. Classic for real. I'm going to wait until tomorrow's review to watch, so that way I can see if the terrorist assassination aliens are in the bar without having to rewatch. Yeah, I'm going to keep an eye out for that too. Logical 1701. These humans' best friends are galaxy-class starships. Sean O'Sullivan says, do you think we will kill off Ortega soon? Seems like we are getting a lot of her. No, we haven't had any of her for the past 2 seasons, so I'm glad there's something with her. So, I mean, yes, last season she had her Gorn episode. That's fine. Will she be killed off? I don't know. I don't think they'll kill her off. I think she'll be transferred to another ship. Or maybe her and La'an both die, because I know La'an's going to die. Either La'an's going to die or she's going to be recruited by Temporal Investigations. So, but yeah. Neil says, sorry, Cap, I just returned and missed much of the discussion about the Pelia-themed episode with no Pelia. For food, my wife grilled some burgers. Arthur McGuire, LOL, let's talk 1701 and Pike's hair. Sure. Classic for real. You say we should be talking about saucers and food. I'm sure you can serve food on a novelty plate shaped like a galaxy class hull. Sure. Jay Moore, it was funny when Ortega said Scotty was an almost fully grown man. Oh, and we also learned that Scotty has 6 brothers, 4 of which are adopted. At least he didn't give him a tragic backstory like Uhura. Not everybody needs a tragic backstory, is what I'm saying. But I didn't know Scotty had brothers. That's cool. I want to meet his brothers now. Fleet Pod member for 75 months at the rank of captain. Holy shit, Fleet Pod. Go and get some poutine from the poutinery, Cap. I'm craving some myself, but I'm too far away from the poutinery to order it. Did we think Ortegas was going to die when the shuttle exploded, or is Scotty now plot armor? I didn't think Ortegas was going to die. You're not the first person that said that in this chat, even. So I didn't think that at all. I knew that that Spock would be able to save them in a nanosecond, or I have it written downstairs. A nanosecond or something. Is that an actual measurement of time? Possibly. I don't know. Classic Friel says, nobody likes the fat ones. One of Guinan's employees talking about something bar and drink related. Sean O'Sullivan says, I would love if there's a reference to Chekhov being on the night shift before Strange New Worlds is done to close Wrath of Khan plot hole. Darren is a nerd, says Pike should have kept the tats. Maybe he does. He did ask for the doctor to remove him, but the doctor said, hey, I'm too busy being a bartender, so. Joe Cool says, yeah, I'm thinking La'an had to die because something needs to happen traumatic enough for Spock to go full Vulcan. Yeah, exactly. Fleetpaw says, I'm average size. Sean O'Sullivan says, Smoky Joe's or Foxy Roxy Poutine tried too hard. Okay. Devo says, we know he has at least one sister. Peter Pressman was her son. At least according to the director's cut of Wrath of Khan. Oh, yeah, his nephew. But that could be his brother's kid. Thrib says there's Sporty and Snotty, don't know the other brothers. Sporty, Scary, Ginger, and Babies. Scott. Neil Hammersmith, one thing I noticed about this episode is that the shuttle was destroyed. The shuttle was absolutely destroyed. Yes, thank you for messaging me that, Neil, and saying, oh, can definitely be sure that the shuttle was destroyed in this episode. Last episode, we're not sure. Was it an illusion? Was the shuttle still fine? I don't know. Classic for real throws in $2. Either poutine or Lola and Precious Treats money. Thank you, Classic. Very much appreciated. Jay Donaldson, a Zeptosecond, and yes, it's real. Okay, I'll have to look it up later. Oh my God. A Zeptosecond. Mark Lawrence, hey Mark, how's it going? $10. Thank you so much, sir. Just got here. Just had to mention the scene Scotty tosses the tricorder and it shatters. Reminds me of Vegas 2 years ago when a costume fellow dropped his prop tricorder and it went the same way. Yes, it did, but it only broke into like 2 pieces, not 15 million. But yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. Yeah, one of the cosplayers had a tricorder and it fell and broke and he was sad. Yep. But that's one of the stupidest things. Like, oh, it's so bright. I can see the shuttle. Here. What? I hated that part. That just drove me nuts. Sean Sullivan said, or his cousin Welshie. Welshie, yeah. Jay Moore says, Ortegas gives me strong Kira Nerys vibes. I think she resembles her and her voice is very similar. Fleetpaw, he stated his post when the trainees are in. See, is that the actual quote? He stated his post when all the other trainees ran? Because I've always heard, I actually have the script, I could look it up, but I've always heard he stated his post when the trainees are in. I just thought it was a Scottishism. Neil says the arm tattoo that Pike received is that Hansen's actual ink? I know he has a sleeve. Could be. Did not know that. Fleetpaw says his sleeve is on his left arm, Neil Hammersmith. The ink he got in the episode is on his right. Actually. I'm just kidding. Fleetpaw. I miss you being here. Sean O'Sullivan, does McDonald's do poutine down there? I imagine it's not good, but I suspect it exists. Yes, McDonald's does do poutine, and it's good. It's really good. They actually use real cheese curds instead of just shredded mozzarella cheese. Yeah, the McDonald's poutine's pretty good. Mark Lawrence says, I wonder if that inspired that scene. I very much doubt it. Fleetpaw, I'd be sad too. That prop probably cost him a couple $100 to $1,000. No, I think it was just the Diamond Select tricorder, Fleetpaw. It wasn't. Actually, I didn't see it up close. I think Mark did. I think it was just one of the Diamond Select tricorders, which still sucks, but. Neil says, I am looking at his arm tat now. Would have been cool if it was actually his. Yeah. Thribs, if you see the final cast photo for Strange New Worlds, La'an is still there, and Spock has gone back to his Discovery Season 2 look. With a beard? Fleetpaw just has a good eye, that's all. Arr. Sean O'Sullivan, it annoys me no end. Scotty should be about 12 years older than Kirk. Instead, he's about 12 years younger. Yeah, the ages are kind of off. Terrence Child says, I'm having fried chicken while watching this. Fried chicken sounds good, but I don't want fried chicken right now. Sean O'Sullivan, you like variations on poutine, Tex-Mex, chili, bacons, maple syrup? Put it this way, the Poutineery downtown London has 30 different kinds of poutine. So yes, when I went to Montreal and with Sam, when we went to see Rob Bonchoon, we went to the poutine place there, and I got like it was like a taco poutine. It was really good. It kind of defeats the purpose of poutine in a way, but at the same time, it's good to have variations. So yes. Arthur McGuire says, Captain Foley, you are the Guess Who fan. Are you the Guess Who fan? They're coming your way to Canada, and it's a great show. The Guess Who. What's that? You just mean the Who? I don't know. I like some of their music. I don't like concerts. I don't care about bands, really. I just like songs. I'd rather stay at home and listen to music than go to a concert. So I don't know if that's what you're talking about. I'm an idiot. Jay Moore says Spock said 1 zeptosecond, which is 1/1,000,000,000th of a billionth of a second. That's impossible. Just putting that out there. That's impossible. Sean O'Sullivan says, did you see the unconfirmed reports Orville shooting from October? Yes. Pretty sure it's it's unconfirmed, but I'm pretty sure that it has, yeah. Yes. I might know a thing or two, is what I'm saying. So, yes. Fleetpaw, I fucked that quote up bad. He stayed at his post while the trainees ran. Hey, Rich is here. Good to see you, Rich. The poutineery is awesome. I think I had regular poutine, but it was fucking delicious. Really good after a bunch of fine folks paid for me to do shots. Oh yeah, on the live. Were we drinking during that live? I wasn't feeling well during that live because I was sick from the convention. But Arthur McGuire says, Burton Cummings, these eyes, American woman, stay away. American woman, stay away from me. Sean O'Sullivan, concerts aren't fun anymore. Just idiots recording the whole thing through a sea of phones. They never were fun, so I'm not a concert guy. Sorry. Fleetpaw, the transporter in the 23rd century wasn't that advanced to be able to cut it that close. Yep. Precious, stop licking the bed. It's just weird. Neil says, after the live last night, I watched some of the oldest videos. Polar Lights, 350 scale Enterprise, and you tearing ass in a Lambo and Austin Martin in Vegas. That was also when Sylvie and I got married. That was my wedding gift. Yeah, great. Glad you're checking that stuff out. Make sure, did you like them? Hit the like button and comment, even on the old videos. It helps. Just go watch them. Joe Cool says, oh, wow. Someone mentioned the last set photo of Strange New Worlds, and I had to Google it, and sure enough, Spock does have his beard back. Fleetpaw, we weren't drinking. I was, because I think Eric Martin suggested it and said like $20 for Fleetpaw to take a shot. Eric Martin was here earlier. He might still be listening and being a creeper. He might be asleep on his couch, or he might be working and kind of listening. So if he magically appears, it's your fault, Fleetpaw, for mentioning him. Jay Moore, LOL, yes, that's what a zeptosecond means. I paused the show and Googled it right when he said it because I wanted to know if it was a real word. Yeah, I was wondering too. I wrote it down, but I didn't have a chance to Google it. Engraved Ring of Healing. I'm an American, and I introduced my French-Canadian girlfriend to carne asada fries. Let's just say that poutine has been given a run for its money. Interesting. Terrence Childs. I'm done with my dinner. Let's have a conversation now. Sure. Jay Moore, you can say it's a sex trillionth of a second. Spock is fast, lol. Enjo9 or Rich says we need to get a few rounds of training in Fireteam Elite to get our alien ass kicking legs back to prepare for Fireteam Elite 2. Totally agree with you, sir. Well, they don't have enough money to buy more turrets. I remember that. I'm kind of shit out of luck for turrets right now. And I think we've completed everything on all difficulties except for one level on the hardest difficulty, which we've never been able to finish. It's been a long time since I played that, though. By the way, Dan also plays that. I don't know if you want Dan to play with us, too. But better than fucking the synth, alpha or beta. Fucking morons. Fleetpaw, bearded Spock. Are we back in the mirror universe? That's illogical. It is illogical. Neil Hammersmith, Spock doesn't just have a beard. He looks full fucking emo. Stars and Donna. I'm curious to know which Star Trek character is your all-time favorite. That's a very difficult question because there's so many great characters, and inevitably I'll say the one and then in an hour think of another one and be like, oh shit. Favorite character? There's too many. I whittle it down to favorite captain. That'd be Sisko, hands down, followed by Kirk. I think Sisko's great. So I don't know if that answers your question. Favorite character? Like, there's so many great characters in Star Trek. I don't know what to say in that regard. Jay Moore says there's a video of Captain Foley driving a Lamborghini. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, Lamborghini Aventador around a track in Vegas. I get it up to, I forget what speed I get it up to. I get it go fast. That's what I'm saying. And also an Aston Martin. So, Joe Cool says, for democracy. Rich Klein puts in $12. Odd number, but thank you so much. Spock and Uhura were the best. Una singing the Klingon version of Total Eclipse of the Heart was too funny. Here's $12 for the pugs. Thank you so much, Rich. They appreciate it. Lola, do you appreciate $12? It'll buy you treats. Yeah. Thank you very much. Foley driving kick-ass cars playlist shared by Fleetpaw. Thank you, Fleetpaw. Jay Moore. Yes, Spock obsessing over how cluttered his quarters were and how disheveled he was very funny. But I wish he could have imagined better plants when he looked at people. Yeah, that was kind of funny. Stars and Donna says Sisko's the best. Yeah, absolutely. Everybody thinks I'll say Kirk is my favorite captain, but no, it's Sisko. I love his attitude. I love the way he deals with things. But he's an actual, just down-to-earth kind of guy at the end of the day. Anyway. Rich says, sure, the new one is 4-player and introduces Gamma and new idiot AI teammates. Oh, fuck that. Alien Fireteam Elite, if you do play with the AI, it's so stupid. It gets right in front of you while you're firing. It's just dumb. Yeah. I feel your pain. You'll have to re-add me to the PlayStation Network and stuff. I know you had the issues with that, or I have to add you. I have to get your username. I don't know. We got to figure it out. Arthur McGuire says Captain Sisko didn't give Q an inch. Classic Friel says track your Camaro. I've taken it to the quarter-mile track here. I get low 12s, like 12.2 per quarter mile. Fleetpaw says, mine is Jellicoe. Sure, Jellicoe was an ass, but Riker was a bigger ass. Yeah, Jellicoe did nothing wrong, so yeah. Joe Cool says, Sisko is the best captain. That's why I always say if someone asks, who's your favorite captain, Kirk or Picard, it's always a trick question because the right answer is always Sisko. Yes. You know who's not my favorite captain? Fucking Archer. Archer, for God's sake. I love Scott Bakula. I love the idea of Archer. Archer for the first little while was great. Comes to season 3, well, actually even before that, He starts whining and complaining and bitching like a fucking high school kid that gets picked on and bullied. He's just a whiny shithead. I get it. The stakes are high. Everything seems like it's closing in against you. The universe is against you. But my God, man, Archer's kind of a shit captain. He has his moments. But I hate saying that because I love him as Sam Beckett in Quantum Leap. I think Scott Bakula's fantastic. When I heard he was going to be a Star Trek captain, I was like, that's fucking awesome. And he's great. He's got his moments, but he's kind of an idiot sometimes. And I get it. He's the first Starfleet captain out there. They don't have the rules yet. They don't have the Prime Directive. That's all stuff that's... But he just comes across like a whiny fucking high schooler some of the time. And it annoys the fuck out of me. But anyway, that's a whole other discussion. Sean says, is there a puppy-safe poutine or are they deprived? I mean, I always give them French fries, and the gravy's fine. They can't have the cheese curds, though, because this one gets bladder stones, so she can't have anything dairy. Fleetpaw says, you hit me. Picard never hit me. I'm not Picard. No, you're easier to provoke. How lucky for me. Rich says we are friends on PSN. Oh. Okay, cool. I didn't know that. Sean O'Sullivan, Bakula isn't great for me. His delivery is so constipated and two-dimensional. Rich said Q would bitch slap Archer. Probably, yeah. But Archer would slug back. You think Cisco hit Q? Archer would be right on top of that too, so. Classic Real says, you can't say Archer is whiny. He says, so says the channel literally called All Star Trek is good Trek. You can't say Archer is whiny. So says the channel literally called All Star Trek is good Trek. Is that an actual channel? Guess. Thribs, I feel the same way with Pike. We all know Burnham is the best captain. I don't think Pike's whiny. I think Pike is too much of a nice guy. He's too much of a friend to his crew. He's not a captain. He asks for advice. It's all very casual with Pike. He doesn't really put his foot down in any particular instance, and that's not a good captain in my mind. Like, yeah, you can be friends with your crew, but not only a friend. You need to be a captain, and it's like being a parent. You shouldn't be a friend to your kids. You need to be their parent. There's a drastic differentiation there. So, yeah, Pike's got some issues as far as command goes, in my opinion. It's a little too much of a democracy, and he lets other people do things and make decisions. So, yeah. By the way, 2 likes away. That's 2 likes away from 50 likes. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Fleetpaw said Archer was jaded. He didn't realize that there would actually be people out there that wanted to hurt them. He was pissed at the Vulcans for holding his father back and wanted to prove them wrong. Yeah, and just being complete assholes all around. Sean O'Sullivan says, the studio has put out the first few episodes of Armada on YouTube. Fun watching the early show before it got sorboed. Well, there you go. Rich retracted 2 comments. Suspicious. Joe Cool, Archer is better in season 3 and 4 for me. 1 and 2, he was eh. Rich said Cisco would body slam Q. Joe Cool, Pike is too cautious. Yeah, actually, I can see. Yeah, I would agree with that. Fleetpaw, I think Classic is trying to take a pot shot at you, Foley. Want me to ban him? Classic Real says, yes, that is an actual channel that Kuros pop that keeps popping up in my feed. No, don't ban him, Fleetpaw. I don't think he's taking a pot shot at me. Fleetpaw says, "Oh no shit. Okay, I thought you were being a smartass. Accept my apology." Jay Moore says Cisco did a lot of whining too. I think we saw him screaming and crying more than any other captain. But he was a captain. I love the line of like, Worf's intimidated by you. He's like, he is? I love that. Like, Worf is intimidated by him. That shows that Pike's a good captain. He can be captainy. You can scream, you can cry, and that's human, but there's a time to be a captain and there's a time to be a friend. Pike never really gets into that captain mode. You know, he's always just kind of nice guy. So, don't diss my captain. Thribs, but Cisco punching Q wasn't a good thing. It showed them that it was easy to mess with. Yep. You're much more easy to manipulate. Lucky for me. Fleetpaw, maybe in the first episode. Sean says, surely Burnham has the crying record. Oh, yeah, hands down. Joe Cool says, no way Burnham cries every episode. Cisco only cries like 3 times. And they're justified. Fleetpaw, we can't count his appearance as Benny Russell. Benny Russell wasn't Cisco. Yep, you're absolutely correct, sir. Sci-Fi Guy 1946 says, hit the like button, everyone, and support the channel. Good to see you, Sci-Fi Guy. Glad you're here. And we hit over 50 likes. Fantastic, guys. Awesome turnout. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and come join us tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this channel to come hang out with us and watch our our live review and breakdown of this episode. We'll probably have a lot to talk about. Put it this way, Sam's a big fan of The Hangover. I'm not. So it'll be interesting. Sean O'Sullivan says, when Jellicoe shakes up the Enterprise D, he really shows the failures of Picard's crew and how soft they are and don't just take orders and do them. I wouldn't say showing how soft they are, but there's more of a relaxed attitude because everybody knows each other. I mean, that's just how a crew would evolve. Picard could definitely be captain. He could definitely have his captain moments. So Jellicoe's just more of a hard ass, and he doesn't know any of the crew, so he doesn't care. I'm sure if you serve with Jellicoe for a few years, he would ease up. Devo77 says, I'll be going now. Good night, everyone. Good night, Devo. Jay Moore says, Jellicoe was a consummate professional Starfleet captain. Yes. Fleetpaw, $2. Pay for 50 likes. Fleetpaw, because... Pay for 50 likes, Fleetpaw. Paid because Jeff ain't here. Ah, thank you. Neil says, I always thought Pike in, I think you mean Strange New Worlds, is nerfed compared to Star Trek Discovery Season 2. Plus, they gave his hair Viagra in Strange New Worlds. I mean, yeah. Yeah, the whole captain discussion, I like every captain. They all have their flaws, but it's always a fun discussion. And Precious is just being silly at this point. I'll have to show you. I mean, you probably don't care, but it's like people showing you pictures of their kids. And now you're being fine? She was rolling around like an idiot. Are you being an idiot? Oh my God. Let's see what Lola's doing. Snoring and sleeping. Sounds about right. Situation normal then. Yes. Sean says, I wonder why Jellicoe had a crappy old Excelsior and Picard had the D. Jellicoe was a boss, Picard was not. Don't know. Fleet Paw, what about Captain Koeg of the USS Odyssey? Didn't really get to know him that well, so not a main character, but still a captain. That's true. Ship got destroyed, so I mean. Arthur says, best cute doggy. Star says, cute pooch. They say you're cute. They don't know you very well. Yeah. Neil says, in terms of minor captains, I like Sulu and Patel. Sulu's great. Fleetpaw, there's my friend Precious and my other friend Lola. Joe Cool says, I was rereading the Star Trek New Frontier books with Jellicoe, and Jellicoe's already an admiral when Picard is captain of the Enterprise E. Don't forget, tomorrow and Saturday on Captain Foley's personal channel, Shelf by Shelf. Yes, not tomorrow, Shelf by Shelf. Tomorrow is my regular weekly video. It's going to be on something Star Trek the Animated Series related, so check that out. And then on Saturday, trying some new stuff with the Shelf by Shelf series, so check it out. We'll see how it goes. Sci-Fi guy says, the pugs, thanks, Captain. You didn't even have to ask this time. You see what I'm saying? And you can see this one the entire time. She's just, you know, she moves so slow. She's like Batista or Dax or whatever the fuck his name is in Guardians of the Galaxy. He moves so, he's imperceptible because he moves so slow. Jay Moore says, we can't forget Captain Maxwell. It turned out he was right about the Cardassians after all. Yes, Captain Maxwell was good. And if that had been our hero captain, if that had been Picard, things would have went differently. But Sean O'Sullivan says, funny to hear you tripping over Irish names. Surely you knew a fellow potato eaters growing up. Not really, no. If I hear the name, I'll be able to say it, but, you know. Janeway was an admiral while Picard was still a captain. Not that hard when Picard held on to Kirk's advice until he didn't. Yeah. Don't let them promote you. Don't let them do anything that gets you out of that chair. Because while you're there, you can make a difference. Sorry, I guess it's don't let them promote you. Don't let them transfer you. All right, let's see. Yeah, so in retrospect and in closing, I feel like it's funny because as soon as they did the pan across the couch with the tribbles and the pizza box with the knives stuck in it, I'm like, I literally wrote on my notes, is this the Hangover? And it became the Hangover. So that was fun. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what we talk about tomorrow. The whole bomb thing felt very tacked on, Like, that didn't need to be there. The stakes didn't have to be that high unless somebody was actually going to die. But I never once thought Ortigas was going to die. And it was wrapped up so quickly. There was no talk of militants before this moment. Like, there should have been at least a line of dialogue at the beginning saying, yeah, there's some militants trying to disrupt the peace talks. Cool. Well, we need time off, you know? But they didn't do that, so. Classic Friel says, LOL, I'm just glad FleetPod didn't ban me. That wasn't a slight against you, Stuart. Oh, I know. I was aware. Arthur McGuire says, we just don't need a second hangover. LOL. Mark Lawrence says, I couldn't do that planet. I don't enjoy being impaired. I'm right there with you, my friend. Yeah. Especially in unfamiliar territory. Classic says, remember the bomb thing from those assassin aliens from that TNG season 2 episode with Loxana? Yeah, sure, vaguely. Sean says, I would never, what happened to Maxwell? Did they release him from prison when the spoon head started playing up again? Fleetpaw, I wouldn't have banned you anyway, Classic, hence the winky face. He needs my permission to ban people. Not really. He's got a lot of latitude in that regard, so. Joe Cool, wasn't it odd, though, that the whole A-shift crew got to leave all at once? Like, hey, everyone else, we're gone, you take care of the ship, peace out. It was kind of odd, yes, but they did make a point of saying that all the other ships did get time off, so. Mark Lawrence, although helping out with impaired friends can be a load of laughs as long as they are amiable. Did you have to deal with us or me in Vegas at all, ever, Mark? I don't remember. Oh, we had the wine tasting, me and Sam and Aaron Wolke, but that didn't get us hammered, so. Yeah, helping out impaired friends is funny sometimes, but for me it gets annoying, especially if they start throwing up. It's like, ugh, no, I'm out. Neil says, the bomb piece reminded me of the TNG manhunt when Loxana reads Antidin. Yeah. Anywho's. Anybody got anything else to say about this episode? Speak now or forever hold your comments, I guess. Let me know is what I'm saying. Because I'm good to stay for a little while. I'm good to go. Fleetpaw, I'm with you, Mark Lawrence. I don't mind a buzz, but I don't want to get sloppy. Have had a few times where I didn't remember what happened when I was younger. Yeah, there's been... I can count on one hand the amount of times I don't remember what happened. And one of them was our very first Trekyards. After the very first Trekyards, like I remember all of it to a certain point. I remember going in the house, not feeling well, and then I basically laid on the bathroom floor for like 4 hours. So, yeah. Anyway, Classic for Real. Yeah, Manhunt was the episode I'm referring to. No, not lots of nice little references. The tribbles, the broken antennae from TOS was great. The Magatu suit. What else? There's a few other little things that were kind of nice to see. Dave Foley as one of the guest star was great. But you need a Foley, is what I'm saying. Neil says the antigens were... I was reading the comment, and then he removed it. Fleetpaw, I remember that one. I also remember the 7-hour one where someone paid Sam $500 to take a shirt off. That was a brutal one. You remember the first one? Okay. apparently I was pretty cognizant and whatever right till the end of the live. It's when I got off the live, stood up, went in the house because I was doing that one outside, and that's when. Anyway, is Captain Foley related to Dave Foley? Maybe I'm related to Mick Foley, the wrestler. I don't know. Probably not. Sci-Fi guy says, "Wow, 4 hours." What is wow 4 hours? What do you mean? Fleet the world started spinning and you decided the washroom floor was the most comfortable place in the house? Question mark. Yeah, pretty much. There was another time I went out drinking with Sylvia's dad at the bar at the end of the street. She had to come pick us up because we knew her dad knew the owner, so he was giving us shots of like rakia, and he was also having some. We were also having beer, and I came home and decided to lay on the concrete floor in the basement because it was nice and cool. Anyway. Joe Cool says, that's not Skeleton Hands, right? That was a review of one of the JJ movies, right? What are we talking about? It's not Skeleton Hands. That's a great clip, by the way. Fun time. You were one of the JJ movies, right? Well, Sylvia helped me review some of the JJ movies. She had a little devil's advocate thing with the horns and the pitchfork, and she was poking me when I was being an asshole. I don't know if that... When did Sylvia come into this conversation? What is happening? Oh, the drunk one. No. I wasn't on alcohol for the Skeleton Hands one. We were on something else. Begins with a M and ends with a rooms. Yeah. Anyway, and we were streaming both our gameplay on one channel and us on the other channel. It's great. It's a fun time. So yeah, no, that was different. And it wasn't on anything when I reviewed the JJ movies. Neil says the Antidans were going to bomb the peace conference on Pacifica, but Loxana reads their minds in the transporter room before they beam down. Oh, yeah, the Antikins. Yeah. I remember now. Fleet Paw, Skeleton Hands was when they were playing Mortal Kombat on shrooms. Sean O'Sullivan, that Rakia stuff is evil. Tried it once, never again. Yeah, it is. It's brutal. It's also good for removing rust from bolts. Just saying. I found that out. Jay Moore says the famous Black Pearl pub. Actually, it's funny because the pub that's in the street used to be called the Black Diamond. So not the Black Pearl, the Black Diamond. You were on shrooms. Yeah. Sean says, nice to know you have a bar you can walk to. I mean, he doesn't own it anymore, and it's changed owners, and now it's the Sky Lounge is what it's called. And it's more, it's changed. The vibe's changed. It used to be a nice little pub where you get the best wings in town, by the way. Best hot wings. But now it's not so much. Now it's, kind of sucks, honestly. Sci-Fi guy says, on the washroom floor for 4 hours is what I mean. Oh, yeah. Well, Sylvia she was checked on me. I was fine. I just needed to, like, chill out for 4 hours. Fleet Paw shared the famous moment of Skeleton Hands, I assume. Hold on one second. I hear something downstairs that I shouldn't hear. Everything's fine. It's all good. Went downstairs and the TV had a gray screen, but I could hear like ads and it said the TV cannot detect your remote. So I hit the button on the remote and it said, oh, okay. It just returned to the home screen on the Fire Stick. And don't know why. There's nobody down there. Creepy. Mark Lawrence, totally unrelated, that TOS Enterprise 10-foot cutaway drawing, it's 11 foot by the way, was awesome to see in Vegas 2 years ago. And then today Adam Savage had it on his channel. Yeah, we saw it 2 years ago in Vegas. And I saw it probably 2 years before that at Wonderfest. It's cool. Factory Entertainment is selling it, the 11-foot one. Like, where the fuck are you gonna hang that? Let's be honest. But they're also selling a smaller one, which I might get. I don't know. I don't have a lot of wall space, as you can see. Downstairs, I might later once things get moved around. So we'll see. But yeah, really great. Cushman's, I think. Yeah, Matt Cushman. Neil says, has anyone heard anything from Hypno Amber lately? Yeah, she was on our live last week for the Strange New Worlds review and the week before that. Yeah. If that's what you mean by lately. I haven't heard from her this week, but... Fleetpaw says, you needed to sober up after the first drunk yards. I think I spent around $300 to get you halfway there. Olivia spent like $300 on Sam, and that bastard, he always cheats. Let's be fair. Jay Moore. Oh, right, the Black Diamond. I remember the story. Classic. Neil Hammersmith sent me a photo. What is happening? Oh, it's Anson Mount's sleeve. Yeah. His tattoo. So, here's Anson Mount's actual real tattoo. And yeah, the one he was getting in this episode, that is his left arm, by the way. It's mirrored on here because fucking YouTube. He was getting a tattoo up higher and on the right side. Anyway, and Neil's going back and watching my old content. There's me kit bashing a ship together, kind of a TOS era Miranda. Decals coming along nicely. I also decided on a name. Dun, dun, dun. Go back and watch the old content. And if you do watch it, Neil, if you're watching it, hit the like button, comment. Comment on the old stuff. I want to read the new comments. So do it. Do it. Dun, 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 dun. Bum, bum, bum. All right. Sorry, back to the chat here. Quick, let's talk crap about Foley while he's gone. Yeah, it's not like I'll see it. Sam doesn't do a great job at pretending to be drunk. But you can tell when he does get drunk. And he does get drunk occasionally. When Marie's there, you can tell. Fleetpaw, homeboy needs to man up and take shots like a man. Yeah, actually do a shot, not just pour in a lot of alcohol and take a big swig. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Mark Lawrence, in my hotel room, lots of things happened in my room. Ooh. Yeah, it was your room that we had the wine tasting with Aaron Waltke, too. What else happened, Mark, that we don't know about? Sean O'Sullivan didn't manage to sneak into any tested videos lately. Me? No. No, did not. BJ said Disney Plus has new Star Wars anime, a whole little series. Oh, nice. Not a big fan of anime per se, but you know. Fleet Paw. Oh, really, Mark Lawrence? Do tell. I love spicy gossip. BJ said you should kit bash a TOS California class. The one I did was pretty close, honestly. So it'd be a good idea, actually. Sean says you shouldn't be kit bashing. I liked Knight Rider. I also liked Kit. Night Industries 2000. Fleet Paw says leave him a super thanks if you're able. Yeah. Yeah. What are you doing? Leave me a super thanks. Not the dad joke, Sean. Neil says, what model ship is that you were working on back in 2013? Bellerothon class? Looks like the Farragut, kind of, from Strange New Worlds. Putzman stole your idea. It was a failed Connie because I tried to strip some paint off the secondary hull, and the secondary hull melted because I used the wrongs. So I didn't have a secondary hull, so I just decided to kit bash kind of like a TOS Miranda style. It didn't have a class name. I don't think I ever gave it a class name. It's like a Potemkin, or it's not, sorry, it's like a Ptolemy class from Franz Joseph, but without the cargo module. So yeah, it's kind of a Miranda type ship. So BJ throws in $1. Thank you so much. Oh, Neil Hammersmith commented on the video. Hi from 2026. Time travel. When is that video from, Neil? Let me just take a look here. Neil Hammersmith. The video is from December 5th, 2013. 13 years in the future. He messaged me. That's amazing. Amazing. Dorian Lindsay says, still play Star Trek Online? Question mark? No, not really. I mean, it's still on my computer. I haven't updated it in more than a year. I haven't jumped on in more than a year. I should probably jump in and play for a bit, but Mark Lawrence, Fleet Paw. Oh, we had that Trek Spirits tasting. It was a good time. Precious is currently killing Santa Claus. She's got a Santa Claus toy for some reason. She's chewing his face off. Fleepa says you do an excellent Sam taking a drink impression. I've seen it more than enough, so yes. Terrence Childs, I found out I have a box of cheddar baked biscuits from Red Lobster today. I'm going to make them tomorrow. Those are fantastic. They are amazing biscuits, I gotta say. And yes, you can buy them in the store and you can make them at home. They're great. Yes. Jay Moore says, bah, ha, ha, ha. That was an amazing impression of the commander taking a shot. It's not a shot. It's a fucking swig of a drink. But anyway, it's fine. Sean says, pop quiz, hot shot. Clint Howard played Grady on what Star Trek show? Grady, would that be Deep Space Nine? Eric Martin, $5. I just woke up again, so time for a super chat. Thank you, Eric. Did you fall asleep on your couch? Because we already talked about that earlier. That you were either asleep on your couch or doing work in the other room and listening. Fleepa says, and I've been here waiting for you, Eric. Oh, your nemesis is here, Eric. Sean says, how long is Trekyards going now? When was Trekyards? Trekyards was probably 2020, maybe 6 years ago, is my guess. Fleetpa, go find out when Trekyards came out. It was April 1st, I know that, but I don't know what year. Fleetpa says, not sure. I only ever saw that one video Trekyards did. It was good, though. It was a good pilot episode. Joe Cool says, I'm thinking about signing up to HelloFresh again. It just got too expensive. Yeah, well, like I said, our chef's plate, 4 meals a week is $85. $85 for 4 meals for two of us. That's fantastic, price-wise. We don't feed Christian. He gets his own food, and he's got his own job. And Neil Hammersmith just commented on another video, how legends are made. Woohoo! Yeah. I love the old comments. It's great. Fleetpa says, so, Foley, you going to come to Philly in November? Will I run into you? No. You will not. What's in Philly in November? Eric Martin. Okay, I know I nap a lot, so laugh it up, folks. Laugh it up, fuzzball. Let's see. Neil Hammersmith sent me another. Oh my God. Hey, our Trekyards promo video, everyone. Look how young we are. Do I look better then or now? I think I look better now, which I never thought I'd say. Jesus Christ. Introducing a very talented Sam Calkins as we discuss our upcoming web series entitled Trekyards, a new show which discusses and focuses on the iconic and not so iconic ships of the Star Trek franchise. Oofta. That's the word, how legends are made thing. Thank you. I appreciate that. Q's blunt. What? Oh, he was commenting on the Doomsday Machine video. Love you, Neil. Thank you for doing that. That's awesome. All right. Eric, sorry, Fleetpot. Trekyards was 3 years ago. Only 3 years? It seems longer than that. Fuck me. All right. Joe Cool says, yeah, that's a good deal. Sean says, why not sing 99 Balloons? 99 is enough balloons. Jill is here. Hey, Jill. Hello. I love the last scene in this episode, but most of it was forgettable. Yeah. If you're not a fan of The Hangover, which I'm not, yeah. It had a few good moments. We've already talked about this. It's had a few good moments and a few homages, like the little broken antenna on the Andorian headband. It's a callback to TOS, where the fake Andorian's antenna broke off, and things like that. But yeah, wasn't the best episode. Sean says, "What's in Philly? Cheesesteaks and the Rocky Steps." And the Rocky Steps. Dun 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 dun. Sorry, you didn't sign up for that. I'm sorry. Joe Brown just got here. Kind of a fun episode. How many Chakotay jokes have there been so far? None. And it's actually more of a hangover joke because Stu in The Hangover gets the Mike Tyson tattoo, which looks exactly like that. So they're not referencing Chakotay, they're referencing The Hangover. But nobody's even mentioned it. So Fleetpaw, 60th anniversary Trek convention in Philly. Oh, nice. Rich Klein, like a fine wine, you have improved with age, Captain. Thank you, Rich. Go back and watch that. Hello, I am Stuart Foley, and this is Trekyard. Yeah, this is Sam. Samuel Calkins. He's a great. I'm glad I grew into my on-screen persona. Like, I was never shy about being on camera. That's not it. It's just I didn't have a flow. I wasn't. Oh my God. Yeah. Anywho's. Fleetpaw, Sam looks like he just stepped off a tour bus containing an alt-punk rock band. The hair, I cannot get over his hair in that promo video. Sci-Fi Guy says, you look better now, to be honest. Thank you. Neil says, first Trekyards was October 11th, 2014. Yep, this October will be 12 years. Fleetpaw, you should go, Stuart. Seriously, 60 years is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Yeah, but the only convention worth going to for 60th is STLV. And it's on right now. Where am I? In my fucking library. Or am I? Maybe. This is all a green screen. And I am in Vegas. That's why I'm wearing the shirt. That's why I had to get up and go see who was at the door. Because it wasn't the TV. It was somebody... I'm at the Rio with a green screen. Tricked you all, motherfuckers. I'm at STLV. Yeah. Joe Brown says, I forgot about the Hangover movies. Fleetpaw, I've never seen The Hangover. I didn't either until like a year ago, and I decided I'd watch them all because everybody talks about them, and I hated them. I didn't hate them. I enjoyed them just fine. It's just I was so frustrated. It's one of those storytelling tropes that I can't stand. Like, you got to go get a thing, and then this happens, and it's just annoying. And I get it. That's the flow of those kind of, but it just fucks with my OCD. It fucks with my ADHD. I like things to be a certain way. It's just the way it is, so anyway. Neil says, I know we talked about stealing ideas last night, but the writers went for broke this episode. I was hoping they put their own spin on things, but nope. Yeah, no, it was literally like ripping off The Hangover. 100%. Hangover movies are fine, but they're frustrating to me. Leapod says, I wanted to go to Vegas, but $1,500 ticket was made of unobtainium, especially after everything I've had going on since July. Yeah. Alex A throws in $5. Thank you so much. Such a great cast on this show with incredible chemistry. Wish I could watch them do 100 more episodes. Came in late. Did you like this one? Yeah, it was a nice change of pace from last week. Star Trek tends to do that, a very serious episode and then like a lighthearted one. So I'm glad they're continuing that trend. However, The Hangover frustrates me, as we just talked about. So while I enjoyed a lot of aspects of this, a lot of little nods and Easter eggs and things like that, there's a lot of really cool stuff in there. There's some good moments, definitely some good character development. While I did enjoy all that, the overall premise of it and the way it kind of played out annoyed me a little bit. So that kind of brings my enjoyment level down to kind of equal things out. So I liked it just fine. Yeah. Not as good as the first episode by any stretch of the imagination, but it's fine. It's fine. I think I scored it on here earlier. My first reaction was like a 7.2. Neil says, Bridesmaids was worse than The Hangover. I'm sure it was, yeah. I haven't seen that either. Fleetpaw, I'm happy with going to Philly for the 60th. I'll make it to Vegas one year when my finances are a bit better off. Just make sure it's the year that I go. I want to go next year, whether it be with Sylvia or not. Sylvia or Sam. I mean, Sylvia, like I said, we got married in Vegas. We got married on August 8th. So this Saturday is my anniversary, our 13-year anniversary. I would like to go back to Vegas for one of our anniversaries. And while we're there, go to the Star Trek convention. Because when we got married in Vegas, we went to the Star Trek convention. And then we got married. So I would like to go back. We talked about going, like last year, we were talking about going this year. And we never happened. Things came up and yeah. Anyway. But yeah, make sure it's a year that at least I'll be going. Who cares about Sam? Anyway. Kron says, if Spock was in room 1049 and Uhura is 2 doors down, shouldn't she be in 1047 instead of 1046? No, because 1049, 1047, but on the opposite side of the hallway would be 1046. So she literally is 2 doors down, just 2 doors on the other side. Neil Hammersmith, if you've seen 2006 Ghostbusters, then you've seen Bridesmaids. Just like watching identical twins take a shit. Wow. Rich Klein says, happy anniversary. Thank you so much. Yeah. I know Sylvia for married for 13 years. Been together for 17. She's amazing. Just so you know. But yeah. Rich Klein throws in $5 with a happy anniversary, Captain. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. And all you guys that are here, all 27 of you, keep in mind that on August the 15th, which is a Saturday, Sam and I are going to be doing a drunk yard. So come and join us for that. It'll be an afternoon thing. Drunk yards seem to be about 4 or 5 hours these lately, or probably about 4 hours. So come and join us in the afternoon. Probably start around noon or 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, also join us tomorrow. Everyone's watching. Join us tomorrow for a live review and breakdown of this episode. And yeah. Fleet Power, I get it. The plan was for all of us mods to go and have a party, but things happened. I almost died. If you know, you know. I don't know if I know. I might know. Do I know? I don't know. Bum, 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 bum. Perfect. Oh, hey, hibbity, 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 hibbity. I think you know has to do with what happened last July. I probably know, but I can't recall. My apologies, sir. But thank you, Neil, for going back and watching the old content. I encourage everyone to go check out the early days of Captain Foley and Trekyards. It was a different time back then. I was a different person, and I'm glad I'm where I am now. Fleetpaw said I'll refresh your memory offline. Indeed, sir, indeed. And make fun of Sam's hair while you're at it. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, we're over the 2-hour mark here. I think I should probably wrap it up, although I'm having a great time hanging out with you guys. So, you know, if anybody has anything they want me to talk about, throw it in now. But I think I'm going to be wrapping it up here soon. I'm going to look my best, you know. But yeah, should probably wrap it up soon. Can't say as I remember that video, Neil. Valentine's Day is upon us. February 12th, 2014. Interesting. You'll have to let me know what it's about. Is it about my artwork? No, because I think that has an title. But anyway, Fleetpaw says the pugs are getting ready. They know it's almost wrap-up time. Yes, yes, they do. Stop licking your paw. You goofies. Here, we gotta take a look at the pugs. There's the Lola. Hey, stop licking your paw. And there's the Precious. My Precious. My Preciouses. Anywho's, anyways, and stuff and things. Okay, Precious, stop. All right, we're going to call it there, I think, because the dogs are going to get restless now. Rich Klein says, daylight done and we want to go home. Daylight done and we want to go home. Neil says, you drew a sketch of Sylvia. Thank you for correcting me on the spelling. It's a good sketch, too. One of my favorite pictures of her. Fleetpaw, the Precious, you's adorable. Thribs, Smallville had a good hangover episode. There you go. All right, we're going to call it there. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Tune in tomorrow for a live review and breakdown of this episode. It'll be fun. You can hear the dogs. They're excited that I'm closing out now. Sci-Fi Guy says, take care, everyone. See you later. Yes, see you later, Sci-Fi Guy. I'll be there tomorrow. You probably will be. You're great. Anyway, thank you for watching and hanging out with me. It's been fun. And next week I'll do a live on my personal channel and also this late night live here. So stay tuned for that. And check out my content tomorrow on my personal channel and Saturday. 2 videos this week. So anyway, until next time, guys, I'm Captain Foley signing off. Live long and prosper. And don't get a hangover. I don't know what that means.